Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. If you are new here, welcome and consider subscribing to my channel and click that little bell notification below. Being depressed is different from just being miserable. A loose definition of depression is frequently used to explain how we feel during a breakup or after a difficult work week. Major depressive disorder, however, is a far more complex kind of depression. Various symptoms distinguish between depression and the occasional sadness we all experience in life. The first step toward treatment and healing can be figuring out whether persistent, unwavering gloomy sensations are brought on by depression. Different people are affected by depression in various ways. You can experience numbness or emptiness instead of happiness, sadness, or rage. Depression can occasionally resemble annoyance or exasperation. Little problems seem large all of a sudden. You might occasionally stop enjoying things that used to bring you joy. There may not seem to be anything to look forward to. How does depression feel? It's worth talking to someone if any of these scenarios sound familiar to you or if you simply don't feel right. Depression can be treated with the proper assistance. The signs and symptoms discussed on this page may be present if you or a close friend or family member has been diagnosed with depression. Do I have depression? It can be challenging to distinguish between depression and depressive symptoms. You can use our confidential mental health check to determine whether you need more treatment to help you feel better or if your symptoms are likely to go away on their own. It is an empirically supported tool that asks you 10 questions about the emotions you've experienced during the previous 4 weeks. It is frequently used by GPs and mental health specialists, and it is commonly referred to as the K10. 10 common depression symptoms. A sense of powerlessness and despair. The situation will never get better, and there is nothing you can do to change it. A decline in interest in routine activity. Your previous interests, pastimes, social activities, or sex are no longer important to you. Your capacity for joy and pleasure has been lost. Changes in weight or appetite. A change in body weight of more than 5% in a month indicates significant weight loss or increase. Sleep modifies. Oversleeping or insomnia, particularly waking up early in the morning. Angry or irritable mood. Being restless, anxious, or even violent. You have a low tolerance threshold, a quick temper, and are easily irritated by anything or anyone. A drain in energy, feeling physically spent, exhausted, and worn out. Your entire body could feel heavy, and even seemingly simple chores may take longer or be more demanding to do. Self-loathing. Strong sentiments of remorse or worthlessness. You are extremely critical of yourself for perceived flaws and errors. Difficulty with focus. Difficulty concentrating, choosing, or remembering. Unaccounted for. Aches and discomfort arise in bodily aches and pains such headaches, backaches, sore muscles, and stomach aches. Depression versus anxiety. Despite the fact that anxiety and depression are two distinct disorders, they both result from the same biological susceptibility and frequently coexist. Anxiety may manifest as a symptom of depression or may serve as the initial cause of depression. According to studies, more than 40% of persons who experience significant depression also deal with an anxiety issue. It might be challenging to discern between the two disorders because some symptoms of the two conditions can appear extremely similar. Both depression and anxiety can cause irritability, rage, unexplained aches and pains, changes in energy, focus, and sleeping patterns. Even the persistent, dark, and negative thoughts that are frequently linked to depression might resemble the never-ending worry of anxiety. There are some obvious changes, though. Although the signs of anxiety and depression can appear very differently in various persons, the following symptoms may aid in differentiating between the two conditions. Without anxiety, depression causes you to feel lethargic and lifeless with no drive to do anything. You're more prone to have anxiety-related tension, jitters, and a racing mind. You can feel helpless and despairing about what you see to be an unavoidably gloomy future if you suffer from depression without anxiety. When you have anxiety, you're more prone to worry constantly about what the future may contain. You may feel scared and uneasy, but you may also believe that worrying will help you feel better. It's crucial to get help for both diseases if you notice that your depression and anxiety symptoms co-occur. The self-help and therapy methods that are effective for managing anxiety and depression symptoms overlap significantly. Is it depression or bipolar disorder, manic depression? Manic depression and bipolar disorder both involve significant changes in energy, mood, thought, and behavior. It is frequently disregarded and incorrectly diagnosed because, while in the low phase, it resembles depression so closely. Since using antidepressants for bipolar disorder can actually make the condition worse, this could be a severe issue. Consider getting tested for bipolar disorder if you've ever gone through phases where you had overwhelming emotions of exhilaration, a reduced need for sleep, racing thoughts, and impulsive behavior. Other conditions that can mimic the symptoms of depression. There are other illnesses besides anxiety and bipolar disorder that might be confused with depression. There are mental and biological illnesses that can resemble the symptoms of depression, just as other health issues can cause depression. These consist of disordered hyperactivity and attention deficit, ADHD, how depression symptoms vary with gender and age. Depression symptoms frequently differ between men and women, or between young people and elderly adults, depending on age and gender. Men who are depressed are less likely to express thoughts of hopelessness and self-hatred. Instead, people typically lament their lack of energy, irritation, sleep issues, and interest in their jobs and interests. Additionally, they are more prone to exhibit signs like rage, hostility, carelessness, and drug usage. Women. Symptoms including strong guilt feelings, excessive sleeping, overeating, and weight gain are more common in women. Hormonal changes during menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause might affect depression in women. In actuality, up to 1 in 7 new mothers experience postpartum depression. Teens. The most obvious signs of depression in teenagers tend to be irritability, hostility, and agitation rather than sadness. Additionally, they might express physical problems like stomachaches, headaches, or backaches. Older people. In contrast to emotional indications and symptoms, older folks typically focus more on the physical ones, including weariness, unexplained aches and pains, and memory issues. They can quit taking life-saving treatments for their health and ignore their beauty. Depression and suicide risk. A significant risk factor for suicide is depression. Suicide may seem to be the sole means of escaping misery in situations of extreme despondency and hopelessness. Take any suicidal words or behavior seriously if you have a loved one who suffers from depression, and keep an eye out for these red flags. Discussing injuring or dying oneself. Expressing extreme helplessness or a sense of being trapped. A strange obsession with dying or death. Acting carelessly, like they want to die, e.g. speeding through red lights. Contacting or visiting folks to bid them farewell. Placing everything in order, giving away prized possessions, tying up loose ends. Uttering phrases like "I want out" or "everyone would be better off without me." A quick shift from acting gloomy and depressed to acting calm and happy. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching, and see you next time.